everybody, and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. And this is just a rundown on the recent World Cup qualifiers and the upcoming games this evening. It's being recorded Thursday morning, this show, and England play tonight. Just very quickly before I get to the World Cup qualifiers, I'm sad to hear that Lewis Broderick's not very well at all. I hope you're improving, Lewis, and feeling a little bit better, son. I have been told that you're a better player than your Uncle Kevin was at your age. If you're a better player than him, son, you must be some player. So as soon as you're up and fit, and you're running around again, perhaps get your mum or maybe your granddad to let me know when you're playing, and I'll come and have a look at a game, son, and see how you do. I'll look forward to it. So keep your chin up, son, and get well soon. The World Cup qualifiers, I'll start with last night's game. England are playing tonight, but let's have a quick roundup of last night's games. The Welsh started with the most difficult game you could have, away to Belgium, who were the world-ranked #1 team. You couldn't really expect them to get something there, but they made a bit of a fist of it. They were actually 1-0 up with a well-taken goal by Harry Wilson. But the Belgians ran the game really, ended up winning 3-1. Kevin De Bruyne got on the score sheet, and Lukaku got the third goal with a penalty. In that game, Dan James played the full 90 minutes for the Welsh team. In the same group, that's Group E, the Czech Republic beat Estonia 6-2. It's pretty obvious to see who the Wales. I mean, surely Belgium are going to get the top spot, you would imagine, and I think the Welsh have got the work cut out really, keeping up with the Czech Republic. They'll probably be competing with the Czech Republic for the second spot. So good luck to the Welsh in that group. In Group A last night, Portugal beat Azerbaijan 1-0. Bruno came on at half time. He got the full 45 minutes. In that group as well, Serbia beat the Republic of Ireland 3-2. So again there, I think you can see straight away the Republic of Ireland and Serbia might be competing for the top spot. The Republic are going to need to turn that result around, I think, when they play Serbia in Dublin eventually. So I think they're up against it as well, really, the Republic. In Group F, that was the 5 o'clock game. I watched that game. It was a cracking game. Turkey beat Holland 3-2. 2-0 at half time for Turkey. And really early in the second half, it went 3-0 for Turkey, and you thought that was it. The Dutch did get 2 goals back in quick succession. With about 10 minutes to go, they scored twice in quick succession to make it 3-2, and you thought, hang on, game on. But immediately the Turks went up the other end of the field and got another goal and made it 4-2 and put the game to bed really. Donny van der Beek was an unused substitute in that game. The Dutch made 5 subs as well, and Donny van der Beek was left warming the bench. That's down to the lack of game time, I think, that he gets at Old Trafford. I feel really sorry for the lad. I'm desperate for him to start getting more game time. I don't understand what Ollie is seeing when he watches that player and doesn't think there's any benefit in not using him. No matter whose position, he could play. He could take Fred's place. He could play instead of Fred as a central midfield player. He could play occasionally instead of Bruno. Don't be frightened of that. He could play at number 10, not a problem. Didn't go great against Leicester, but against Leicester, you're playing against a top side, and there's loads of other changes. I said this about 2 or 3 different players. You're actually giving him a game, and when fans are fans of a certain player, they point at that and say, "Oh, it didn't go very well when he played." Of course it didn't, but Luke Shaw was rested as well, and all sorts of different things have gone on. It just isn't. It's like giving somebody a game and giving him a game with their hand tied behind the back. He needs to give Van der Beek more game time, even if it's 20 minutes as a sub regularly. He doesn't even bring him on for 20 minutes as a sub. He's just warming the bench all the time. And I'll be honest with you, I think the way Donny van der Beek's getting treated at Old Trafford is a disgrace. And now he's sat on the bench with the Dutch national team, and they've used 5 substitutes, and he's not even been used as a substitute for the Dutch. So I hope that improves for him. I really do. In Group D last night, France drew 1-1 with the Ukraine. I knew they were going to have a tough game. I did expect them to win it, but I knew they were going to have a tough game there. So it's not a great start for France. Pogba and Martial were both on the bench. Pogba came on 63 minutes and got about half an hour. And Anthony Martial, it was 1-1 at the time as well, and they brought Martial on 77 minutes for Kylian Mbappe, believe it or not, and Anthony Martial got 15 minutes, but couldn't help them get the winner that they were looking for. That was the main games for me last night. Tonight, it's England v San Marino. That's live at 7:45 on ITV, so that's free to air. Everybody can watch that game. There's San Marino. I've got the actual nation. I've got a population of 30,000. Their whole population wouldn't even half fill at Old Trafford. If all of their population was inside Old Trafford, it would look sparse. That's how small San Marino is. They're the lowest ranked team of all the European nations. So England, if ever there is a saying about these days that there's no easy games. If ever there was an easy game for England, it should be this one, San Marino. England have got to start with 4 or 5 goals at least tonight, or else it won't be regarded even as a decent performance. Before United's games, I always have a go at picking what I think the team might be or what I'd like it to be. It's much more difficult with England. It's also not just more difficult because of England's players coming from all different clubs and I'm not 100% sure who's in form and there's nothing to go off. England haven't played for ages. When you're looking at United, you can go, well, he played well last Sunday, or he played well, or he was terrible last Sunday. Whatever happened with England months ago, it barely matters. There's no continuity. More or less no continuity necessary when it's so long back. That's how I feel about it. So picking an England team is really difficult. I've looked at a couple of the newspapers, what they're going at, and it shows you how difficult it is. I've looked at the Standard and I've looked at the Independent, and the two newspapers have only got 5 players that are in both teams. They've got 6 different players, so everyone's having a guess. The Standard have gone with Pope in goal, Reece James. They've gone with a back 4. Reece James at right back, Stones and Cody at centre backs, and Luke Shaw at left back. I can't really work out exactly how they're playing it. They've got Calvert-Lewin definitely as a number 9. I think Jesse Lingard they've got Jesse Lingard in there as a number 10. And then they've got lots of central midfield players in there. I think they're all really central mid players. Ward-Prowse, Phillips, Bellingham and Mason Mount. They've got in their team, the Standards. It seems a bit of a hodgepodge to me. This looks a little bit more of a better organised lineup. The Independent lineup have got Henderson in goal. They've got 3 centre-backs, Cody, Mings and Dyer. And they've got Reece James on one side and Luke Shaw on the other. So they've got full-backs as wing-backs, really. They've got Phillips and Bellingham, who are both central midfield players. They've got Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. That's a bit of a surprise for me, for them to think that he might start. They've got Watkins, who's obviously number 9. And then 2 wide attacking players. They've got Saka and Foden. So the team that the Independent have guessed at, to me, looks a better balanced team. But I wouldn't, like I say, they've only got 5 players in one team that are actually in the other team. They're probably neither of the 2 guesses will be anywhere near. It's anybody's guess what the England team will be. But as I say, if you want to see a few goals, I think there will be a few goals in it tonight. It's England v San Marino, live on ITV at 7:45. Also in the same group, Group I, there's only 2 teams who should give England any problems, I think, which is Hungary and Poland, and they actually play each other. If you wanted to see a more interesting game, that's also on TV tonight, but at the same time as the England game, that one's on Sky. Hungary and Poland. And, if you're a big England fan and if you want England to qualify, in such a small group, a 5-team group, you need your big rivals to take points off each other. So if you're looking towards England being at the World Cup in Qatar, really you'd like that one to be a draw, I would suggest tonight, or maybe even a win for Hungary. But Poland should be England's nearest rivals. So if you want England to qualify for the World Cup directly, you could do with Poland dropping points tonight, I would suggest, away in Hungary. Also tonight, Group F starts. Scotland versus Austria, live at 7:45 on Sky Sports main event. Scott McTominay, I expect, will be playing in that one. And Group C also starts. Northern Ireland start with a really difficult trip away to Italy. That's at 7:45 live on Sky Sports Football. There are earlier games on the TV if you're football mad like me and you want a little bit of football this afternoon or early evening. There's a 2 o'clock game today. By the time this goes up on YouTube, I don't think it'll be too long before kickoff even. But England under 21s play the Swiss under 21s. It's live on Sky Sports Football and Sky Sports main event. That's a European qualifier for the under 21 championship. Mason Greenwood was in that squad. I was looking forward to seeing that. I'm sure Mason would have started, but he has withdrawn from the squad with what seems to be, to me, a mystery injury. He didn't seem to be injured when he played against Leicester for the full 90 minutes on Sunday. And then there are 2 5 o'clock games. Like I say, if you want to watch a little bit of football before the England game, there's just 2 5 o'clock games. There's Israel versus Denmark. That could be a decent game. That's on Sky Sports Football at 5 o'clock. And Bulgaria versus Switzerland. I think that could be decent as well. So you've got a couple to choose from. Bulgaria versus Switzerland at 5 o'clock. Sky Sports via the red button. I hope you've enjoyed that show. If you've enjoyed that little show, please subscribe. Please tell all your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum.